Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast. This is Abe, your host, with Lammy Chillmeister, your co-host. Today is September 1st, 2024. Hey, I got 2 new subscribers. It won't allow me to look up who they are, or I just don't know how to. I'm not the most tech savvy person. My wife is more tech savvy. She's the tech girl. I just get behind the mic and talk shit. And I think it was because my last podcast episode, Why True Crime Now? Which is a repetitive, famous quote from last podcast on the left. So I hope you guys understood the reference. And we just talked about true crime in general, the politics of it, is it in poor taste? Is it trashy? The philosophy behind it, why it's so popular, the psychology of it, which we might do a part 2 of that. Like, apparently that one was kind of a banger. I think it got like 40 or something views or something, almost 50 views, and I'm like, dang, people really like that. Okay. So we might do a part 2 on that because there's a lot more I can talk about on true crime in general. So thank you to the 2 new subscribers. Everyone's welcome here. I always give this little speech. Everyone's welcome here. Any sexuality, any religion, any spiritual path, everyone's welcome here. Any political party, Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative. The only thing that I ask is to new subscribers is please be respectful in the comment sections to me and to other commenters, because if I just see nastiness and toxicity, I'll just start blocking people, and if that don't work, then I just shut down the comments for that particular podcast. So the older I've gotten, the longer I've been doing this, I just don't put up with that. But besides that, that's really my only rule. Welcome to the club, Today we're going to discuss Burning Man. I don't think I've ever done an episode on Burning Man. And I was going to do more of a blue pill podcast today, but I was like, you know what? Let's get into Burning Man, because I didn't realize that it was going on, and I've never covered Burning Man, so I was like, yeah, let's cover it. So one thing to take note of is there was a ceremony in front of a gigantic eyeball with these they kind of remind me of what do they call them, hakas? Is that the Samoan warriors? They had fire dancers in front of it. Now, what does this represent? The Eye of Providence? Some people say the Eye of Lucifer. I don't think it's the Eye of Horus, because it looks nothing like the Eye of Horus. Which, in my opinion, I don't see the Eye of Horus as a bad thing. I've done a whole episode on the Eye of Horus and the connection to the pineal gland, your third eye and stuff. So go check that episode out. I think it's literally called the Eye of Horus and the pineal gland. It was when I first was experimenting with podcasting, so it's super short. But I don't see that as a bad thing. If it is the Eye of Horus. And I do see, I'm an astrotheologist and occultist. To me, Horus is Jesus, and Jesus is Dionysus. Horus is also Odin. And you'll see amalgamations of gods and goddesses throughout antiquity in general. And it kind of ties in with the Atlantis theory that everyone was everywhere during those time periods. Main history wants to say that, we were all on our own little countries and we didn't really travel. And I just don't believe that. I believe in alternative history, that Egyptians were on American soil, Jews were on American soils, Celts. I did a whole episode on. We went to a place called Red Bird Stone here in Kentucky, and it actually has Phoenician writing on it, which is ancient Jew. It has Egyptian writing on it. It has Celtic writing on it, and it's dated like to ancient times. So like that means that the Celts would have had to have been in Kentucky. The Egyptians, I think we were all over the place. I mean, you have mummies who have of pharaohs and stuff who literally were found with cocaine in their noses, and they had tobacco and stuff. Apparently were users of tobacco. You couldn't get tobacco or cocaine in Egypt. There would have had to have been seafaring, I think seafaring is the word, and trade and stuff, which would get into the Atlantis theory, that Atlantis was like a multicultural hub in the Azores, which I subscribe to that theory. I believe that we were doing a lot of fucking traveling, like we as humankind, as one people, you know. Everybody was traveling everywhere. And mainstream history is like, no, that's not how it was. Everybody was blocked off in their own little worlds. Like, no, sorry. There's Templar relics in the United States, meaning the Templars would have came here. There's a place, I believe, in France that was a Templar church with corn stalks carved into pillars. And corn was not over there in Europe at that time. There's a lot of episode ideas. Like, I could do one on that temple. I could do an episode on the cocaine mummies. Like, man, this is why I say, dude, if you're wanting to get into podcasting, I have a coworker who's like, how do you podcast every day? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, there's nothing to run out. I will never run out of subjects to talk about. Even that's why I never limited myself either. Like, I started 2 podcasts on purpose. My other podcast is Blue Pill Podcast, which is non-conspiracy, non-paranormal, non-crypto. And then I have Conspiracy Corner Podcast, which I cover all this weird shit, you know? So I made it open-ended to where I can talk about anything, any day, you know? But yeah, these gods and goddesses, and I know the Christians hate to hear it, but are amalgamations, man. I mean, the Holy Trinity was around before Christ. The Ankh was the precursor to the cross. The original Holy Trinity, the oldest Holy Trinity as far as I'm concerned, would be Isis, Horus, and Osiris. Father, Mother, Son. And then you see that within Catholicism, you see the whole, you know, Joseph, Mary, Jesus, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, different trinities. Now, so is it bad, like the eye? I'm an occultist, so I don't see a lot of symbols as evil. That's why I'm kind of a black sheep in the conspiracy community. I don't know enough about the Eye of Providence because I'm not like a Freemason, I'm not Illuminati. I'm really not a member of any secret society unless you consider Alcoholics Anonymous a secret society, which it kind of is. It's kind of a cult too. A cult's not occult. But maybe I'll do an episode on the Eye of Providence and eye symbolism in general. A deep dive. But I do know a lot about the Eye of Horus and shit. So, I did an episode too on eye symbolism as far as the evil eye. Could it be a reference to the evil eye? Now, as soon as people hear the evil eye, they get freaked out, like, ooh, you know. The evil eye is not a bad thing. It's simply to ward off evil people. It wards off bad luck. It wards off evil spirits. You get a lot of blue, the color blue. I know the Christian conspiracy community kind of demonizes like everything, which kind of sucks. Like blue is really demonized in the Christian conspiracy community. When it's actually a good thing, it wards off evil spirits and stuff. I did a whole deep dive on the evil eye and actually made my own evil eye necklace. Go check that out. I have a whole series in general on making occult items and talking about occult items because I'm an occult item collector. It's one of my hobbies. So go check that out. It's something along the lines of evil eye. Did a whole deep dive on it, what it means, what it's, yeah, just go check it out. So, I don't know. That's my opinion on the whole eyeball ceremony at Burning Man. So, next little subject. So let's kind of go into a history side of things, still occult. And I noticed, like, Truth Seeker, his channel, brought to my attention the concept, or that Burning Man was going on right now. Because I can't keep up with everything. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to do a episode focusing on Burning Man. I've never done it before. And one thing I noticed with Christian conspiracy theorists, part of their downfall is, if it's not Jesus, everything's Satan. And I do not believe that. I think it makes the content creator kind of look uneducated. Because you're lumping all these entities and deities into Lucifer. Or Hasatan. And honestly, I think that Christianity in general tries to keep people dumb and keep people from looking into it. Because for one, like the Vatican loves that they have all the power against all these lower entities. And they don't want us to have that power because then we wouldn't need exorcists and things like that. If every Christian studied demonology, then there would be no need for exorcist. There would be no need for priest. And I think that Christianity in general, top down, wants to keep Christians stupid, honestly. I think that Lucifer is definitely a scapegoat. If it's not Jesus, everything's Lucifer, everything's Satan. When I think that Satan, Lucifer is actually misunderstood for one, and two, indifferent towards us, like he neither likes nor hates us. And I think when you lump everything under Satan, it keeps you from finding out who the real enemy is. Like, to me, I would think Baal or Molech would be a worse entity than Lucifer. Because those entities and deities actually ask for like baby sacrifice and things like that. So like the whole time during this like Truth Seeker video, he's like getting into Wicker Man, which is what we're going to talk about. And the whole time he's like, this is satanic, this is Satan, this is Satan. Every other word was, this is Satan. And I'm like, oh, you don't get it. You don't get it. And people in the comment section are like, great info, great info. I'm like, not really. I mean, it's kind of lazy for one to just be like, everything's Lucifer. And it's like, that's like lazy fucking. And then it's crazy because people are like, oh man, you're putting out great information. And it's like, Not really, dude. First of all, the Wicker Man is not satanic. Doesn't mean it's not evil. I will explain why it's fucking evil. The Wicker Man is Celtic Druidism. So, they used to do a ceremony with human sacrifice where they would put people inside of this burning Wicker Man. Hang on just a second, let me get my cigarettes. And by the way, I'm sorry for the shit talking, but if you're not even shooting at the correct target, you are weak, you are dumb, you are ignorant. Like, you need to be knowing what you're fighting against. Was the whole point I was trying to make. Stop shooting at Lucifer when Wicker Man has nothing to do with Lucifer. So, the Wicker Man is what Burning Man is based off of. It was a ceremony done by the Celtic Druids, which, by the way, I do have to say this, as an occultist and someone who practices ceremonial magic and studies occultism, I do have to say I get real tired of the pagan community acting like there is not darkness within paganism. You know, they super anti-Christian and describe how evil Christianity is, which Christianity, in my opinion, is fucking evil and disgusting. But there's a lot of evil and disgusting shit in paganism too that they just seem to ignore. I like to bring up dirt on both. I'm an occultist. I bring up dirt in paganism, and I bring up dirt in Christianity too. Don't act like your religion is perfect, you know. There's shit in your religion too. But the Druids, modern like neo-pagans, like to paint the Druids as like this beautiful culture, this beautiful, like they were just peaceful and these like wise wizards with staffs and cloaks, and it's all beautiful. And no, they were doing some disgusting fucking shit. In my opinion, and by the way, before anyone goes, oh, though that's racist, bro, I'm fucking Celtic. So, I'm Irish, dude. I can talk shit on the Celts if I want. And I can talk about how disgusting my ancient culture is. Part Native American, too. I blow people's minds in conversation sometimes because I'll shit talk the Native Americans and they're like, what? Aren't you Native American? Yeah. Well, why would you shit talk your own people? Because they were doing disgusting shit, too. Everyone was, dude. Can't sit here and bash on just the white people. There was brown people doing fucked up shit too. Everyone was doing fucked up shit in ancient times. But the Druids, man, here's how evil the Druids were. Samhain, however you want to pronounce it, I don't care. It's ancient Halloween. It's the original Halloween. And I will do a deep dive one day, like a Halloween special episode. Maybe September, next month. Maybe next month. Do you want to know the origin of trick or treat? So the Druids would go to, back then, they used to live in huts, the Celts, like little hay huts, kind of like if you watch Braveheart. That's kind of accurate to what they were living in, like these little hobbit mounds, you know. It probably inspired hobbit holes, honestly. Because Tolkien was Irish. Irish, English, Celtic, Welsh, something. They would go door to door and knock on people's doors and say, basically along the lines of trick or treat. And this is where you get going out door to door, Halloween time, getting candy. But the Druids were real nasty about it. Like, you had to give the Druid, which was the priest class of the ancient Celts, a treat. And if you did not give them a treat, they would decapitate you. Or they would make you bob for apples, which is another thing that we still practice to this day. We practice trick-or-treating, we practice bobbing for apples. So if they made you bob for apples, they would put a pot of either boiling oil or boiling water, and you would have to have your hands behind your back and use your face to bob for the apple, which would disfigure your face. Basically, like, it'd be like me shoving your face into a fryer. You would be horribly disfigured for the rest of your life. The pain would be insane. Yeah, the Druids would make you bob for apples. These are the types of things that the Druids used to do. Wicker Man was a human sacrifice ceremony where they would burn people alive inside of a gigantic wicker man. So, figured I'd let you know. But these deities that they were burning these people for were not Lucifer. Like, they were probably like pagan Celtic deities, which would be like Cernunnos and shit like that. The Green Man. Which reminds me, dude, we are doing movie reviews for the channel. And this all kind of reminded me that I want to do a movie review on Wicker Man with Nicolas Cage. I think that'd be a real good movie to review for the channel because it gets into the Wicker Man. Like, but I think it's like modern times of basically people who are still conducting these druidic ceremonies and stuff, like pagan. It's like a pagan cult or something along the lines. I've never seen it, so it'd be a good movie for me to watch because I've never seen it. And Nicolas Cage is an interesting figure in general. He has like that pyramid that he wants to be buried in New Orleans. Nicolas Cage, it would not surprise me if because I don't really know his religion or spiritual path. It would not surprise me, though, if he was a self-professed occultist. What are you looking at, motherfucker? Sorry about that. Just breaking his neck to stare at me, dog. Because he would be like, I would be like him. If I was a millionaire, I could see me buying, because he collects like haunted houses, he collects like old grimoires, he buys weird shit, man. He got in trouble for having a dinosaur bone one time, and he had to like turn it in because it was illegal to own it. He just bought a dinosaur bone. I would definitely be like Nicolas Cage. And he actually inspired me. I told my wife if I ever became like a millionaire or a billionaire, which would be awesome, but I doubt it will happen. I need to will it into existence. He inspired me to do the whole pyramid. Like, I want to be buried in a pyramid and be mummified. And I thought it would be cool to like have like a main entrance that the family can visit my mummy. Kind of like what would it be called? A mausoleum. It'd be like a pyramid that you could go into and you could go and see my mummy. That would be cool as fuck. I'd be in a sarcophagus and stuff. But I would also have like a secret entrance, and I want to set up booby traps, like actual fucking fatal booby traps and shit. And no one goes through that entrance, but I want to keep it there for like, let's say we go into like a nuclear holocaust and there's like barely any survivors. I thought it would be cool if someone like tried to get in through that entrance and had to go through all these Indiana Jones style booby traps. I know, I'm a fucking crazy person. But Nicolas Cage in general is like, to me, a very interesting person. So I heard the full story listening to last podcast on the left. Shout out to them again. Go check them out and subscribe to them. Tell them who sent you. Maybe they'll give me a shout out. Who knows? But they told the story of why he built that pyramid. he bought a haunted house. Now, forgive me, I think it's the La Laurie house in New Orleans. And you like it, New Orleans? And he kept having like all this horrible bad luck. So he went to a psychic in New Orleans, and she told him that you have a curse put on you because you purchased the La Laurie house. And I'm pretty sure it's the La Laurie house. It could be a different one, so forgive me if I'm wrong. And she's like, I'll tell you how to break the curse. You need to buy a grave. It was either in the proximity close to the house or a proximity close to the owner of the house. And what this will do will break the curse. So he built his pyramid grave where he's going to be buried in that vicinity to where whatever qualification it needed to break the curse. Now, and this is something that I would use Nicolas Cage as an example of what not to do with my money if I ever became rich. See, first of all, he buys and collects haunted houses. I would do that, but I would open them up for tours. Have a gift shop, tours. I would turn them into businesses. Literally, I would have haunted houses all over the United States and turn them all into businesses. So that way, for one, people could experience them and actually enjoy what I own. And two, I would be making my money to pay for owning all this cool locations. That's where he fucked up, dude. Me and my wife, we went to Witch's Castle years ago, and we actually documented it, so go check that video out. But the whole time I was there, I was like, dude, why can't we be rich? Because I wanted to purchase it, clean it up, preserve it historically, because, like, there's two big stories that happened in that location. The torture and death of, the torture, well, not the death, but the torture of, what was her name? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Forgive me. Go look up Witch's Castle crime and you'll figure it out. But it was also a castle where 3 sisters supposedly lived there, and they were witches, and they got tied up on a raft and sent downstream to die because the town found out they were witches, and Christians don't like that shit, so they murdered them. So that's what it's known for. But I wanted to purchase it and turn it around and turn it into like historical tours, put a little gift shop there, parking lot. Make your money back, dude. It's cool to own this shit, but that's where he fucked up. So he started going broke because of this curse, supposedly. And they started taking away his houses. He had to sell his Superman #1 issue. He basically had to sell all his fucking shit. And I think that his father was dealing with cancer or died of cancer or something, so he spent a lot of money on that trying to save his father, which is pretty sad, and a lot of people attribute that to the curse. But the one thing they could not take away from him, because it's a funeral plot, and I guess there's like legal shit they can't move, destroy, or take away funeral plots, which is pretty fucking cool, because me and Sammy actually won a funeral plot in Stamford, Kentucky. We did a drawing and we actually won. So they can't take that from me. We have the paper and everything. We own it. Like, and it's pretty cool too, because now I will probably die before Sammy. I'm just being realistic. I have poor health because I treated my body like an amusement park. I used to be a punk rock singer. I used to be a party animal. I'm surprised at 33 I'm still alive. I have damaged liver. Would not be surprised if I get throat cancer. My mom has like nodules in her throat, and I chain smoke, and I used to be a really bad alcoholic. Yeah. But they couldn't take away his pyramid. So that's kind of cool. And you can actually go and check it out. I want to so bad. I want to go to New Orleans in general just to check it out, because there's so much occult shit there. There's so much paranormal history there. It is literally like an occult town. It'd be so fucking cool to go check it out. It's on my bucket list. But that's what's going on with the origins of Burning Man. It's based off of Wicker Man. We covered that. We covered some Celtic Druidism. One thing that is strange is it's located in the Black Rock Desert. Does this have affiliation to the Black Rock Company? I don't know. Maybe that's something that you guys know. We'll have to look into that. But I just wanted to make that little reference and note that I found interesting. And there is talk in the conspiracy community. There's already been a death this year of the Burning Man Festival, and there seems to be at least one death per festival, at least. A lot of people in the conspiracy community are saying that these are like human sacrifices being done, and then they just say it's an OD or something, which it could be an OD. Like, I mean, a lot of people are doing a lot of fucking drugs there. So who knows? That's up to you. Wee-oo! Is it human sacrifice? Dun dun dun. One more thing that I was gonna say is, like I said, I'm the black sheep of the conspiracy community because I know my channel would blow up. If I were to come out tomorrow and become a Republican Christian conspiracy theorist, my channel would explode. Sam Tripoli hits the nail on the head when he talks about that. That the reason his channel's not as big as it is because he's like a classic liberal. And he says, like, if he would become like full-blown conservative, like his channel would blow up. And it's true. And that goes with liberal too. Like, if you go one way or the other on the political spectrum, your channel will explode. I'm a black sheep because I'm an occultist classic liberal, so no one fucking likes me. But that being said, the Christian conspiracy community keeps talking about the debauchery and shit. I'm not gonna get into that, man. You guys know on this channel, I don't give a fuck if you're married and have sex. If you want to be polygamous, go for it. Whatever gets your rocks off. The only thing that I care about is if you're harming people, you're raping people, or if children and animals are involved. I'm not cool with that. So sexually, do whatever the fuck you want. That shit doesn't bother me. So when people bring that shit up about Burning Man, I'm like, so? It's adults having orgies. Who cares? It's not hurting you. But that's not Christian. That's not morally correct. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't care. Sorry, I don't give a fuck. Same with the drugs and alcohol. I'm pro drugs. I believe that every drug should be legal and decriminalized. Yeah. So the drugs and alcohol and sex and debauchery does not bother me one bit, and I'm not against it. So if this is I know I get new subscribers. If you're expecting me to be like, this is satanic and evil, there's people having sex and people are having anal sex and sodomy and drugs. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Let them do whatever they want to do. You do you, boo-boo, as long as you're not hurting anyone else. That's all I care about. But there you go, Burning Man 2024. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below. I always do comment back. One other thing I wanted to say, too. I've actually come across a lot of content creators from them subbing to me. So if you sub to me, I always try to sub back as long as it notifies me. And hit me up in the comments. If you're a content creator, I'll give you shout outs. Just give me shout outs too. We'll help each other out. It's the only way to grow around here because we're all shadow banned. But love y'all. Y'all have a good day.